Welcome to Flashback. We are looking at a more modern game-ish. Well, certainly more modern now as well, considering its re-release on the Nintendo Switch and the announcement of a sequel. It's Deadly Premonition.
It's relevant again.
Yes, yes. Deadly Premonition is an open-world survival horror game, video game developed by Access Games, set in the fictional rural American town of Greenville, Washington. The story follows FBI Special Agent Francis York Morgan as he investigates the murder of a young woman that might be linked to a serial killer who struck elsewhere. For all you Twin Peaks fans out, it's a very familiar story. Deadly Premonition was originally released in February 2010 for the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3. A Director's Cut edition was released for PlayStation 3 and Windows only, which drove me nuts as a Microsoft player. But happily, a port for Nintendo Switch followed in 2019 called Deadly Premonition Origins. And of course, Deadly Premonition 2 has been announced now for Nintendo Switch exclusive as well. And I'm happy to report at this time, Deadly Premonition Origins has now been patched on the Switch and has eliminated all those problems that came up with it. Because fucking hell, talk about ruin a port when you can't hear the voices.
Also, the sequel is an exclusive, is it?
It is an exclusive. Yes, it is Switch only.
We'll see how long that lasts. But...
Well, considering like Bayonetta 2 and stuff like that, I presume that
I mean, maybe Nintendo have somewhat helped with the funding or something. I'm not sure.
Possibly. I would just say go buy a Switch then. Go watch our other video.
Don't know.
Right.
I never buy a console for a single game, but
anyway, likes, dislikes, favourite moments, scenes, bits of music, the usual basically. And I'll just fly through the likes and you can jump in.
Okay.
So story is gripping. I actually played Deadly Premonition way before I saw Twin Peaks. I'm not comparing the two. It's just simply the inspiration behind.
Oh, clearly,
that.
There's no doubt.
Yeah, it's as clear as anything else. But yeah, so I find the story incredibly gripping, particularly, and ultimately, people, this is spoilers. It has one of the most incredible twists I've ever played in a video game that blew my mind, and one of the most horribly scarring endings or things that happen to a character.
Definitely.
That fucked in hell. Yeah. Just it's a wonderful story.
Yeah, I think it's one of the most unique, eccentric video games ever made. But it's that eccentricity that makes it so great.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it does kind of feel like calling it eccentric feels like an understatement.
I
think a better way to describe it would be just plain weird. It's a plain weird game, but in a good way.
Yes, absolutely. One of the things every Deadly Premonition fan will tell you is, we'll always go, it's wacky, it's weird, but it's wonderful because of that.
Yeah, it's one of those games that either connects with you or doesn't. It's on the internet when I was doing research about the game, refreshing my memory about it. It's definitely got a love-hate.
It's a Marmite game, 100%.
Yeah, I heard I read a comment from someone. They said that if you if the first 5-10 minutes doesn't connect with you, then it's just not gonna at all going forward. But there's just so many funny little eccentricities about it, like the loud guitar music that plays through every single conversation.
Coffee,
It's just hilarious because it's so loud. And the characters are almost shouting over it, but it feels purposely done that way.
Yeah, like it had to be that way.
Yeah.
The upbeat, cheerful music, the whistling at the most inappropriate times. It's got it is wacky.
Yeah, one of my favorite things about the game is that even though we're talking about how silly and quirky it is, actually on the surface it looks that way, but actually deep down it's extremly dark.
Oh god,
almost uncomfortably so.
We're going to get to some of those moments in these things. You're right. I don't want to go too far, but you're right. There's a specific. Well, I'll get to a specific moment that blew my fucking mind for darkness. And it opens with a most talking about that. The opening cutscene with the Greenville song, "I Hear the Voice in Greenville," all that, is two children looking at a cut open body of a woman displayed on a tree.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, that's a hell of an opening.
Yeah.
One of the other things, and ultimately I already touched on as well, is I think it's got one of the best finales of a game. From the moment where it reveals what happened to York and Zack and what that actually means. From that point onwards, and the reveal of Kaysen as the overarching villain of the game, I just feel like from that point onwards, it's just the most insane ride.
Oh, absolutely. The whole reveal about Zack and all that stuff is it's stunning. I can remember it as clear as day when I first experienced it. Definitely blew me away.
Anything else to add in the likes?
Just overall, it's just an extremely immersive game. I think you really get sucked into it, especially if it connects with you. You almost don't want to stop playing because you want to see where the story is going to be going, and it takes you in so many different directions you wouldn't expect. Yeah, it's a really immersive game. And I think it's kind of a negative to talk about the gameplay a little bit, but I was just going to say that even though the gameplay isn't like perfect, has its faults. I think it's a really good example of a game of why story can be more important than gameplay.
Oh, very well done.
You know, because even though the gameplay by itself, you know, you can criticize it, and I'm going to criticize it on some of the dislikes.
Yeah, obviously, yeah.
But yeah, the story is so strong that it just you don't worry about the gameplay almost because the story is so good.
I agree with you. That's an incredible way to put it. This is a great example, as you said, a great example of where it proves that story is more important than gameplay. Because ultimately, we're going to get the dislikes now. Gameplay is an issue. It can be fucking messy to play.
Yeah, you know, the game starts off with you getting into a segment where you have to do shooting and stuff like that, and the shooting in it is not great.
It's flawed, yeah.
And but I do feel like its faults are part of the charm as well.
It's one of the things I always say as well. Like, okay, it's got this issue, but it is part of its charm. The only time I say when it doesn't, and one of the things I'd kind of forgot until I was replaying it on the Switch, is that it has so much driving, so many driving sections, and they're long. You can run out of fucking fuel. Forcing you to walk.
Yeah, the whole
long way.
Whole fuel mechanic thing, and having to change cars constantly, and you have to do a lot of back and forth driving and stuff. And yeah, it's definitely a flaw.
Yep, it's ugly to look at. It is an ugly game. It's as simple as that. Even on the a Switch, this isn't like this is their best looking version you're going to get as of right now, and it's still. I'm like, what? Good God, those textures are bad.
Yeah, I mean, it was a PlayStation 2 game at best.
At best, yeah. And ultimately, my last one for dislikes is before we get into favourite moments into bits of music. It's so divisive that ultimately it's never ever going to get the appreciation. It's too divisive in that sense. There's no 10 years down the line it's going to be appreciated. There's already been fucking 2010. It's almost 10 years already.
Yeah, but I think it's testament to its passionate fan base, the fact that you're seeing this re-release on a modern console of the Switch.
Yep.
And the fact that we're getting a sequel, you know, so long after the original, people just haven't shut up about it, you know.
Yeah.
And that's what's made us get this sequel, and it's fantastic. You know, I can't think of a game that's as divisive.
No.
Like, I mean, it is obviously like on a smaller scale. It's got a cult following, you know.
Yeah.
Following, so, but I'm sure there's bigger games that are like, you know, got that whole Marmite type thing going on, but yeah, I mean, it's definitely a very divisive game.
Any more things about dislike?
No.
Okay. Favourite moment, scenes, bits of music. I actually got a couple for this, actually. So, I mean, the obvious one is basically one of the moments when you realise, I guess, where if you get to this point where you start to fall in love with it, is as you're driving around and York is talking to Zach and he just starts talking about movies.
Yeah.
With accuracy as well.
Yeah. I mean, we're talking about I mentioned the dislike of the driving around.
Yeah.
Lots of back and forth, but there's the added benefit that you get to enjoy the conversations between York and Zach, where they make references to so many different 80s movies.
Yeah.
And, you know, York's love of 80s movies, and it's just so engrossing, you know.
It is.
Listening to them talk back and forward, you know.
And it's and one of the things I'd forgotten until I played it is it's like if you find it annoying, why the fuck you'd find it annoying? You don't actually have to do it. You press a button to start the conversation. So yeah, but yeah, I find that absolutely wonderful. Something that maybe I didn't experience as a second playthrough when I first played it, and basically it's extra missions and the collectible cards. So these are extras. You haven't got to do them to complete the game. No. However, if you do, you will actually end up getting more insight into the game. And it's specifically the Emily card, which is one of the hardest to get in the game. And to do that, you need to visit her at a certain point, and during certain weather, and at a certain time. And through that, you learn about her shitty cooking skills.
Oh yeah.
And it just endears you even more to them.
Yeah, I definitely highly recommend collecting all the cards for sure, because it opens up some side quests, and it forces you to do some unique activities, and yeah, it definitely gives you more background into the story and the characters. That is definitely worthwhile.
Yeah.
A really memorable one for me, and I spoke about the reveal of Zack and how the whole thing goes. It's just super stunning. But mentioning Emily, I think her whole ending is just truly like it's devastating. It really sticks with me. I remember that, and it really shocking me. You know?
Yeah, really, it's one of the hardest, most like death scenes that you're just like, oh, for fuck's sake. It makes sense in the context of the story, particularly when you realise, because originally it's basically, you know, you find out that what happened to York and Zack, and you realise that also his father didn't kill his mother, and then it's kind of, you kind of realise, should have seen it coming. It was inevitable then, almost.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, it's it's an absolutely incredible I have it as well.
Yeah.
That entire truth segment is, I still remember it clearly.
Yeah, and it's a good example of how dark the game can get. You know.
Yeah. You got any more?
Just generally exploring the town.
Yeah.
Just remembering doing that, not knowing what was going to happen. I wish I could go back and like replay it. It's the type of game where I'd love to replay. I mean replay it like
first time ever
with fresh eyes, not knowing what was going to happen. I wish I could erase my memory, kind of thing.
We'd love to do it in many games. I agree.
Of course, you can probably do it in most games, but yeah, just that feeling of exploring the town just gives me a warm, nostalgic feeling.
Cool. I got 2 more quick ones then. One of the things I absolutely loved, and it's reignited, the moans of the enemies. So the enemies are like possessed, like the sort of otherworldly things, and the moans they make and the words they say things like "I don't want to die," and it's really chilling shit.
Yeah, they're actually quite creepy. Like,
yeah, the upside down
they bend
thing
backwards and stuff. I mean. Yeah, and killing them and stuff like as they approach you, it does create some quite tense situations.
Yeah,
for sure,
absolutely. And last but not least, the moment where I went from I think this game is cool to I think this game is one of the best things I've ever played. And there's a later chapter where you play as the Raincoat Killer, while Amazing Grace, this gothic version plays out. Is one of the most just like what the fuck, incredible, incredible,
yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Actually, I forgot piece of music.
Yeah,
I had to touch on piece of music. So it's got loads of memorable stuff. However, there's one I adore the most, and it's called "Crucial Moment." Obviously, I'm going to play it roughly here. But yeah, basically that piece of music pops up, and it pops up when York and Zack, the reveal, the split happens, and it's a crucial moment that plays then. Wonderful piece of music. It's kind of uplifting, but I think it's designed to be like oh, here you go. That it's called Crucial Moment.
Yeah, no, the music is definitely really memorable for sure.
Yeah. Brilliant. There you go. There's our flashback of Deadly Premonition. Make sure you check out all the other episodes of Flashback and the other videos on the site. Thank you for watching. Hit that like and subscribe button.